Discipline essentially is doing the hard work doing the hard work with as much energy as you do the easy stuff. And respect is just basically recognizing that each person has a space that they operate in. Integrity is doing what's right even when nobody's looking. Pride is whenever you have a possession, or you have an activity, or you have an organization, or anything that you are a part of, and you give it a place of honor, and you're doing what you have to do in order to protect it.
Yeah, I am saying such and such a.
Another video from such and such radio. If you've been liking the content, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and if any of this has been helping you out, help somebody else out and share all our content, because we trying to get our followers up, but also we want to continue to put the messages out there and let these conversations flow amongst the people, and let everybody hear what we got to say as we talk about stuff here on such and such radio. What I want to talk to y'all about today is drip. And I ain't talking about your clothes, I ain't talking about your chains, I ain't talking about your shoes. All that's all good, but as everybody always say, it's not on you, it's in you. And so the drip that I'm talking about is the one that's in you. And what drip stands for me, I have an acronym that I use, is discipline, respect, integrity, and pride. Yeah, everybody knows what those mean. Most people I would say know what those mean. But this is one I want to kind of angle it towards the kids more so to say. So like I want people to be able to share this video with high school kids and everybody that might not have an understanding of the clear definition of those. So let me kind of get into it. So first off, discipline. Discipline is first and foremost, like above anything, like, to where men and women, in order to be successful, you have to have discipline. Without discipline, you would not be successful in anything. You will not, if you don't have discipline in your finances, you won't manage your money the correct way. If you don't have discipline in your eating, your health will get out of control. If you don't have the discipline to work out, you will not. Your physical being, your physical health will deteriorate. Excuse me. If you don't have discipline in your behavior, then you're gonna end up in bad situations and stuff like that. Like to where, so you have to have discipline in everything. But discipline essentially is doing the hard work with as much energy as you do the easy stuff. And with as much excitement as you do the fun stuff. The easy stuff is easy to do. So you do it, you knock it out, it's no problem. The fun stuff, you enjoy doing it and things like that. But whenever it comes to the hard work, the hard work, a lot of times people are hesitant to do it, or they don't put as much enthusiasm into it and things like that. That's not true discipline. True discipline is whenever you can really grind, and whenever you can get on your grind, and when you can really get in there and doing the hard stuff with, like I said, as much energy as you do the easy and the fun stuff. Playing a basketball game is so much fun. It's to where you like, if you're on a basketball team, going out there in the game is fun. The practice ain't fun, but the practice is what makes and helps you be successful. That's where you put the work in when you're going through the drills. When you're in the weight room, you lifting the weights. None of that stuff is fun, but whenever you embrace it and make it fun, that's whenever the discipline comes into play, and then you see it translated in the games. And if we're not gonna use the sports analogy, spending money is fun. Going and buying stuff that you like is a whole bunch of fun. But the discipline in order to go to work and first earn the money, but then also having the discipline to manage it and not be frivolous and buy a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need or whatever, and being able to save the money in order to get an amount so that you can buy something lavish or, you know, spend it on whatever you want to. That's where the discipline comes into play. So discipline falls into every single aspect. And I will tell you this, because discipline is so important, I'm going to go into it a little bit deeper. If you don't have internal discipline, that's saying if you don't have it within yourself to do the hard stuff, if you don't have it in yourself to push through and put the work in whenever it's not fun, if you don't have internal discipline, you'll end up getting externally disciplined. And what I'm saying is, like, if we'll use behavior problems, if you don't have the internal discipline to behave properly in settings, you know, you have to behave properly at work. You have to behave properly at school. You have to behave properly everywhere. If you don't have the internal discipline to do what you're supposed to do in those settings, then guess what? Sad to say, you're going to receive external discipline, whether it be in the form of the police, whether it be in the form of, you know, if you're a kid getting a spanking, whether it be in the form of, you know, you getting fired from a job. Those are forms of discipline to say, hey, you have to, like, you know, you have to do what you're supposed to do in the hard moments. So, like I said, let's hope that you can build up internal discipline, and it's something that has to be built over time. It's not just a thing that you flip a switch and you have it. No, it's built and you train yourself in order to be disciplined. If you don't have the internal discipline, Lord, I pray that you don't get the worst kind of external discipline to teach you those lessons and to teach you that it's important to do the hard work. The next part of DRIP, though, that I will go into, that's going to be respect. And respect is just basically recognizing that each person has a space that they operate in. That is their space, and that they are free to do what they want in their space. God gifted each and every single person with life and a breath in their body and a domain that they can have. Like, we're not talking actually physical space, even though sometimes in regards we are talking physical space, but what we're saying is he gifted you a life, he gifted me a life, he gifted this person to live a life. And you are free to live your life however you want to, as long as it doesn't infringe or impede upon another person. If somebody invites you into that life, respect them enough and to respect their space to live theirs how they want to. Now, we get it so twisted sometimes because, especially in this age of social media and stuff, to where we want to give our opinions on how people live their lives, or think that we can dictate how people live their lives because they opened it up publicly to you. Just because somebody publicly exposes their life to you, you can have an opinion on it, but that doesn't mean that you can dictate how their life goes. But a lot of times, just because they open it up publicly doesn't even mean they're asking for your opinion. They're just showing it to you. And yes, you can share that opinion, but guess what? In their space, they don't have to respect your opinion. In their space, they don't have to even listen to it. Now, if somebody comes to you and invites you in that space and then ask you for advice on, hey, how can I improve my space? Then they're asking you for your influence and they're asking you for your input into their life. But if they ain't asking for it, then I'll be honest with you, like, to where you shouldn't be trying to give it, because you wouldn't want anybody coming into your space uninvited and trying to influence or dictate or trying to tell you how to live and rule your space, because, like I said, God gave you that space to live it how you want to. So respect is respecting that each person has their space and that they can do with it what they want, how they want. The next part of this DRIP acronym that I want to highlight is integrity. Integrity is doing what's right even when nobody's looking. And yes, integrity plays into discipline, but the reason why integrity is so different, because discipline, like I said, can be internal, external, whereas integrity is all internal. That's whenever your strength is tested. Whenever they talk about the integrity of wood, they're saying, does this wood have the internal strength to hold this weight? or when they're talking about the integrity of a metal, they're saying, does this metal have the internal strength to withstand the pressure or the weight that's going to be applied to it? So whenever you're talking about integrity within yourself, you're asking yourself, do I have the internal strength to stand up to the weight that's applied to me? And the most weight that's going to be applied to you is whenever you could do something wrong and get away with it and nobody knows about it. What I'm saying is whenever you could steal something and nobody would find out about it, do you steal it or do you let it sit there? Whenever you could tell a lie that you know that you would not get caught up in and that nobody would know whether or not you're telling the truth, do you still choose to be honest in that situation? That is what integrity is making the choice to continue to be honest whenever nobody will know that you're lying or not. Integrity is not stealing whenever nobody knows whether or not you got something by unjust gains. Integrity is continuing to do right whenever nobody's looking. Like I said, that's internal. But then that brings me to the last part of this acronym of DRIP, which is pride. Pride is whenever you have a possession, or you have an activity, or you have an organization, or anything that you are a part of, and you give it a place of honor, and you're doing what you have to do in order to protect it. And that kind of ties all of the rest of these together, because in order to protect something that you put in the place of honor, you got to have the discipline in order to know that this is here and that I'm going to put the work in order to protect it. If you're a part of a sports team and you take pride in being a part of the sports team, you're going to do the hard work you're going to put the hard work in the weight room. You're going to put the hard work in the film study room in order to be able to go out and do your part and contribute to the team. If you take pride in your household, you're going to do the hard work and do what you have to do in order to be able to pay for stuff to fix it and be order to maintain your household and to be able to get money and assets in order to add value to the house. So you're going to do what you have to do because you take pride in that. But also you're going to respect that thing because it's a part of your space. And you're going to walk accordingly so that people will respect whatever this thing is in your space. Like I said, whether it be you are part of an organization. If you join an organization, now that organization is a part of the space that you live in that you want people to respect. So you're gonna do what you have to do to protect it, but also you're gonna carry yourself with integrity because you don't want anything to dishonor that name. You don't want anything to dishonor this thing that you take pride in. You don't want anybody to dishonor this thing that you're a part of, so you're not going to do bad stuff in order to mar that name. You're not going to do disrespectful things in order to dishonor this or to discredit this accomplishment that you have. So that's what DRIP is for me. Like I said, it's not on you, it's in you. So have the discipline to do what you got to do in order to have some DRIP. Be respectful, have integrity, and take pride in what you're doing. That's what I got for y'all.